Hey guys, it's Pineapple, and there's no script to this video. There's nothing behind it but thoughts. And I want to do kind of like a little video series like this where I more so just share my thoughts on things without writing it down. And specifically, I want to talk about how I think some characters' plots are gonna end in My Hero Academia. You know that Horikoshi's been announcing for a while, even as editor and various sources, that My Hero Academia is ending. And as the series is coming to an end, I feel like I want to make sure that I take time to cover all the characters that I want to cover. I want to make sure I take time to do a video on all the people that I want to do a video on. And right at the top of my list, right now at least, is Endeavor, just based on like the various hints and things that I think we've been getting in the story recently about where I think his story is going, and ultimately I think where it's gonna end. So for any characters that I think I can already see more or less where their story is gonna end, I think I am gonna do one of these videos and talk about it at least. Not really expecting anything from it, I just think it's kind of an interesting thing to do. So if you want to hear my thoughts on where you think someone's story is gonna go, let me know if there's a character specifically, and if I feel like I have something interesting to say about it, I will upload a little video talking about it. But here we go. This is my opinion on how I think Endeavor's story is going to end in My Hero Academia. And it's not like a really big drawn out thing either, right? We've seen for a while, right? For a long while, we've seen that Endeavor has this dream where his family is eating dinner and he's not there and Touya isn't there, or Dabi isn't there, right? And the original context of us seeing that is really sad. And I guess, I mean, every context, it's going to be really sad for him to be feeling that way. But that's because Endeavor feels like there's nothing that he can do pretty much to be with his family again, right? Like to be with his family again and have them respect him, have them want him there, have everything be happy and joyful. He understands that there's pretty much no way for him to do that. And in previous videos or a long time ago, I said that the only way he might be able to not fix everything and not get everything back to normal, but the only way that he might be able to earn a seat at that table in everyone's eyes would be to bring back Touya, right? Like the one thing that's impossible, because, you know, it wasn't confirmed at the time that Touya was Dabi. So in their eyes, he can't do anything to kind of atone for what he did, or he can't live up to like what he wants to do to fix that issue in his dream, because to them, Touya was dead. Come to find out, Touya is of course Dabi, and the situation presents itself for Endeavor to truly, in earnest, atone for all the things that he's done by helping solve this issue of Dabi or Touya going around and just doing whatever he wants and just burning people alive and stuff. So of course Endeavor was really down and out after the end of the last war arc. Obviously we saw him in the hospital, we saw him breaking down. He had to have that kind of pep talk between his family and everything, where his family came in and they were like, we're gonna do this together, we're gonna save Touya, we're gonna, you know, do all this as a family, we're gonna deal with this as a family together in a way that we haven't before, right? And since then, we've seen just a bunch of times where Endeavor is making the same face, right? He's making this like face of sadness. And it happens specifically during moments of like thinking of the future, or planning for the future, or anything about like this upcoming war, or even anything about like Dabi or Touya himself, right? I believe one of the first times we saw it was when Endeavor was wearing that like trench coat or whatever, and he was standing next to Shoto, and he makes like a sad kind of ooh face, right? When Shoto is talking about bringing Touya back and working together as a family and all that stuff. He also makes that last chapter when he's given the notes, I'm sure, about the plan that they all have from Hawks. And to me, it really seems like much like kind of what Dabi is planning, right? Dabi is planning on finding Shoto, burning Shoto alive in front of Endeavor, you know, finding Rei, finding Fuyumi, burning all those people alive in front of Endeavor, maybe even Natsuo, burning Natsuo alive in front of Endeavor, and then burning away together in the process with Endeavor, right? Like we know that Dabi, I don't think is really planning on surviving beyond his fight with Endeavor. He's saying, come dance with me in hell, right? So clearly he's acknowledging that he's trying to kill the both of them while exacting as much revenge and pain on the Todoroki family that he can in the process. But on Endeavor's side, he's supposed to be planning to do things with his family to save Touya, but to me, I get the impression that that's the exact opposite of what Endeavor's doing. I feel like before, where Endeavor was like, I can't do this, I can't deal with, you know, Touya, and I just can't take any of this. After his family kind of came and talked to him about the responsibility and sharing the responsibility of bringing their brother back and stuff, I really feel like Endeavor did kind of understand that yes, he does have to be part part of this. This is his responsibility. He made this monster, and it wasn't just him that made the monster. You know, the family acknowledges their part in it. Rei acknowledges her part in it. But I mean, far above and beyond, Endeavor was the one who created this beast, right? So I feel like Endeavor's way of dealing with that, and Endeavor, his way of thinking is he's going to try to take care of it himself. No matter the fact that his family has kind of made this plan with him to work together and do it, no matter the fact that Shoto was planning on saving Dabi and all that stuff, I feel like Endeavor understands that there is no saving Dabi, right? That there is no saving Touya. I feel like Endeavor sees the look in his eyes and knows that much like he himself, much like Endeavor himself, once Dabi or once Touya has his mind set on something that he wants to do, he's gonna have that crazy Endeavor-like passion to do it, and it's gonna get done. And I feel like just how Endeavor burned away his old self, right, when he was fighting the High-End Nomu, Dabi did very much the same thing up on Shoto Peak, right, when he allegedly died or whatever happened. We still don't really know the full circumstances around that. Dabi burned away who he used to be and became a new person, and I feel like both of these people who burned their past are now going to come to a head, and they're trying to like one's trying to change the other is just trying to like die together. I honestly feel like it's not going to go the way that the family plans, and I do think that Dabi is a very, very present danger. I feel like over this last little portion of the story, they've really been emphasizing how dangerous Dabi is. Like his clout meter on like the villain radar or the villain kind of bingo book or whatever has definitely been going up lately, because ever since the war arc, everyone was talking about like his horrifying burning flames and how billowing and how big they are. We've seen him just one shot burning entire buildings down. Like Dabi has definitely been getting his clout up, and that's really just to say that that's Horikoshi emphasizing how powerful and how dangerous Dabi is, right? And we know Dabi's mentality. We know what he's doing. We know exactly like what's going on in that crazy head of his. We know he's trying to hurt Endeavor and trying to kill the whole family. So instead of putting the family in danger, instead of allowing anyone to get injured in the family, I definitely think like instead of taking any chance of losing someone else in that family and making it so there's one less person at that dinner table, I think Endeavor is going to make his dream come true, right? In a series all about fantasy becoming reality, ironically, I do think Endeavor is going to make his dream come true, where the rest of the family is sitting there having dinner without him. And he bought them that new home. I don't think he's going to step foot in it, obviously. And I don't think Touya is going to step foot in it. I hope Fuyumi is safe. I hope Rei is safe. I hope everyone is safe. But I do think that Endeavor is going to be going out with Dabi. Now, that kind of leaves, like, there are obviously some questions left in the story that kind of leave some like weirdness in the air, right? Because we still don't know how Dabi survived on Shoto Peak, right? Apparently he burned alive and there was only jawbone that was left that they believed to be his, but you would think that they would have it analyzed or something so they could prove it or something like that. Like, and that leaves some people to think that potentially Dabi has like a phoenix quirk or something, like he burns and then he comes back. But that, I don't really know about that entirely. I did do a video about that also, but I mean, he kept scars, he kept burns when he ended up, you know, going into the Dabi personality, or maybe that's from something else, right? Maybe that's from, no, it has to be from being up on the peak. So how did he disappear? Where did he go? Like, how did he end up reintroducing himself back into like the world of villainy, and just like what really happened there? And is that going to play any sort of factor in this final battle against Endeavor, right? And can Dabi do anything against Endeavor? Like, if Endeavor and Dabi fight full force, if they both really go at it, who's gonna win? Because we have seen that Endeavor has like an insane mastery over his quirk. He might not have as much firepower as Dabi has, which is a big point that they keep telling us. Dabi has more firepower than Endeavor. They've been telling us that for a pretty long time in the series now. But Endeavor has like a different mastery of his quirk, I feel like. And we have seen Dabi do some technical things. Like we've seen him flying with it. We've seen him almost doing a prominence burn in various things. So he does have some tricks up his sleeve, but it's going to be interesting to see how they scale to each other, right? And just how quick that fight lasts, right? Because obviously Endeavor can't fight for too long when he's getting overheated. Now he's going to be fighting a fire user who doesn't really care about burning himself or anything like that, right? So that leads me to believe that Endeavor's going to have to walk away with some burns here, if not die. It's a really scary situation. But ultimately, again, I don't think that Endeavor's walking out of it, and I do think he's going to surprise his family by kind of betraying the plan that they all have set to save Touya by going against it and trying to do it himself and trying to let that be the way that he atones for all the things that he does and has done over the course of the series. Do I think it's necessarily the right thing to do? I'm not sure. I definitely think that it's hard to imagine Touya being reformed. It's hard to imagine Dabi having lunch with Shoto, kind of in the way that he was talking about. But who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? Anything could technically happen. It's just hard for me to imagine. It's hard for me to imagine any of these villains. Well, not any of them, let me not say that, but it's hard for me to imagine some of these villains reintegrating back into society, right? And Dabi is definitely one of them. So I just think there's something tragic coming between Dabi and Endeavor. I think before the end of the story closes, we're going to see both of those characters tragically pass away and actually have their dance in hell together. And I think it's honestly fitting. I don't think there's any... You know, a lot of the fandom will argue, obviously, that there's no coming back for Endeavor from various things that he's done over the course of the series. And obviously, many people in the fandom, but maybe ironically less, will tell you that there's no coming back for Dabi or anything like that. So I think it's fitting that these two characters take each other out. And I do think that's very sad for the rest of the family, because where does that leave them, right? Where does that leave Fuyumi? Imagine Fuyumi if Endeavor and Touya take each other out. That's going to hurt. Her reaction is not going to be something that I'm going to want to read. Imagine Rei, right? Like losing her son again. And then after not necessarily reconciling with Endeavor, but, you know, after finally seeing him again and all this time, him dying. And then just all of that happening. Or how Shoto would feel, right? Or Natsuo. Like, it's a real big heartbreaker, I think. But I think it's definitely possible, especially as the series is closing. I feel like all the gloves are off now. We are going to see characters die. If we saw characters die in the last arc, I think we're going to see them die in this arc, and Endeavor's got to be high on that list of potential ones. So if you're going to start doing a video series on, you know, which characters you think are going to have their endings first in the series and what you think those endings are going to be, I definitely feel like Endeavor has to be at the top of that list, because he is one of the first characters I see, or at least, you know, one of the more important ones dying in this final war. So let's see if that's what happens. And in the comment section below, please let me know if there's any character that you want to hear me talk about, what I think their finale in the series is going to be like, and how I think their plot is going to close out. This is Pineapple. Let me know if you agree by liking the video. It really helps me with algorithm stuff, and I'm trying to get back out there with my content. I really hope you like this one, guys, because it was nice being able to have a little dialogue just about my thoughts without really having to worry about like a script or anything like that. So let me know, and I'll see you guys later. It's Pineapple. I love you. Peace.